moving things around me, screwing stuff up. Okay. Let me just get comfy. It's been 8 months since I've done my last little podcast, and a little change of scenery, a little change of equipment, a little change of mindset, a little change of fucking everything. But we're back. We're back with a little different vibe going on, a little name switch. You know, I'm a procrastinator, someone who doesn't decide on something until last minute, unless I'm like traveling, which I'm a over planner in some, under planner in others, but that's neither here nor there. But without further ado, welcome back to the Late Checkout Podcast. Yep, it's not the Mackin Show. It's the Late Checkout Podcast, because I wanted a fun little name, something that had the essence of like a place that you would just chill and have fun conversations, and like the vibe of, oh, you're just sitting here talking with the boys or the girls and you got time to kill, or you want to push it back because the conversations and debriefs are so good. Also, I'm just obsessed with hotels. I'm a big hotel guy. So I was like, how can I mix the two? Late checkout. That's what we, and by we, me and my loving girlfriend, came up with as a fun name that actually kind of has some like fun little meaning. Because again, the vibe of the podcast isn't going to change. The conversations and the shit I talk about and going from here to there and just like crazy shit, not going to change. But I just wanted something that, you know, had the vibe of like you chilling with the boys or girls, talking about literally any and everything. Could be really deep, could be bullshit and recapping, doesn't matter. That's where we're at. And in my humble abode, I'm in my apartment. You can see we do not have the podcast studio anymore. Things have changed since then. But no, last 8 months, for a little recap, last 8 months have been a whirlwind. I was lucky enough with my last employer to use their podcast studio, use their equipment, and really kind of just kickstart that thing for me, like with the equipment that they had. And since then I had moved on and I kind of wanted to get into a different line of work. I was doing a lot of like social media, creative, videography, like all that type of work, and I really wanted to dive into like talent management, brand partnership, just that whole world. So that's what I'm currently doing now and loving it. It's fun. You get to go around and talk to people, you know, make connections. I love, in a funny way, annoying people, because when you have talent you work with that you need stuff to get done for, then you kind of have to be annoying. Like, hey, is this done? Is that done? You're annoying with the people you talk. And again, this is all like a positive annoyance, but you know, you're annoying with like, I don't know how to sit. Like this angle is weird, but I guess we'll just do that. I feel like my legs are really big. I don't really know. Does it look really big from there? I'm not sure, but again, this stuff is going to get worked out. Trust me. But for now, we're just in my humble abode and things have changed. But since then, got a new job, moved the podcast studio, but equipment back into my apartment. And we're just going to, you know, we're balling on a budget, as some would say. We're balling on a budget. And you know what? I'm happy to be doing it again. I'm happy to be back, because my favorite thing in the world is truthfully just bullshitting around, sitting, talking, having good conversations. That's kind of why I wanted to go into the line of work that I was going into and really get back to this podcast life, because I just truthfully love talking. But, you know, that's just where we're at the moment. And I guess just to kick it off with, that's what's been up with Casey. Emma started a new job, so I'm home alone for hours. Don't really know what to do with that. Like, I don't know if I'm the only one that feels this way, but guys or girls, when you've been in a relationship for a while and you normally think you're just like, oh, I want to fucking get out of here. Like, I need and don't get me wrong, alone time, very useful. Love that. And being independent, doing your shit. But like when you're together for so long, you live together, all this type of stuff, and then you go out and do your own thing, you literally almost feel, and I don't know if this is just a guy thing because we're dumb, but you literally feel like a parent has just left. Like, where's my supervision? Where's my, you know, person to answer the questions I have and everything. And when that person's gone, you kind of just go like, oh my gosh, like what's going on? This is a whole new life. So that's where I'm at right now. This was day one of Emma's new job. Shout out to her. You're going to kill it. And I'm back in here working and doing my fucking podcast stuff, but still in LA, loving it. And yeah, without further ado, and obviously as time goes on, there's going to be more updates to come, but without further ado, welcome back to the welcome to the Late Checkout Pod with your host, Casey. But no, I guess to kick it off, with recently things that I've dove into literally head first, and I know it's still airing new episodes right now, Summer House. I was convinced after Vanderpump Rules that I wasn't going to get into other reality shows, maybe reality game shows, but not reality shows where they're all living together and kind of like drama filled, because I figured Vanderpump was the top of the mountain. There was nothing that could match it, or at least like give me the same entertainment, until I went through 8 seasons of Summer House within 2 weeks. No joke. Like actually binged watched 8 seasons of Summer House in 2 weeks. And safe to say I'm obsessed. Safe to say I am obsessed with the show. I think it's awesome. I always find myself saying, oh, the characters on the show, like they're not real people. The cast of the show I think is great. I had this debate/argument with Emma that there still will be no reality show ever that touches Vanderpump Rules aside from Jersey Shore, in terms of just the absolute craziness that ensued during those seasons. But Summer House is such a good watch. It's such a good comfort watch. There is drama. I love reality shows that don't take place in LA, just because A, I live here, B, it's like a little more normal and you can kind of relate to it a little bit more. And obviously theirs is in the Hamptons and whatnot, and I'm obsessed with it. Like, I think aside from a couple of the things in his relationship, Kyle Cook, treasure, absolute treasure. Made for reality TV, is the entertainment of Summer House. Like, I was joking with Emma about it, where I'm like, for somebody who appears on the show so ditzy and just fucking goofy, he actually is smart. He's a CEO, graduated business school. Like, I feel like he's got book smart, but when you watch him in the kitchen at 3 a.m. talking to himself, it's like, who the fuck is this guy? And Kyle's amazing. Love Amanda. Sierra's awesome by far. And I know I'm probably not shocking with this. Paige is the best cast member on the entire show. Paige fucking rocks. Like, her fuck you attitude, I'd say, kind of. Like, I don't know if she walks around with fuck you attitude, but her almost like very, very nonchalant. Like, she's a nonchalant queen. Like, we always talk about nonchalant kings. She seems like a nonchalant queen aside from the fashion, because you can tell that's her bread and butter, is putting together awesome outfits. But in terms of not giving a fuck, really telling it how it is, and just literally lying in bed all day while still being very successful, she's the best. Her one-liners are awesome, / she'll literally always give it back to somebody. And it was cool that with Summer House and with Paige specifically, I knew what Giggly Squad was, her podcast with Hannah Berner, before Summer House. So I was like, oh, like, these two girls are funny. This podcast is really funny. And everyone was like, oh, have you watched Summer House? I was like, no, like, not going to get into it. Vanderpump was it for me. Like, I don't need another reality show. And then to see her on Summer House, just like so sarcastic, so like blunt about shit, and really just like not giving a fuck at all. And she's by far the best. So really like Paige. Shout out Giggly Squad. They're fucking killing it. But Paige rocks. Also too, like, you always hear all these like, oh, you're gonna dislike. A lot of people came to me being like, oh, since you knew what Giggly Squad was first, let me know what you think about Hannah after watching. It's a reality TV show. Like, I watched Jax Taylor break up with an addict to AA, sleep with his best friend's girlfriend, go to jail. I watched Sandoval, like, just do all this crazy shit. And then I watched Ronnie, like, Mike knock himself out, fight with Ronnie, do all this crazy shit, leave and come back. And, like, for Hannah to just have some freakouts, argue with some friends, leave, get attached to a guy, like, not the craziest shit in the world. And so I didn't really think that, like, swayed my opinion of her. Like, I guess, if anything, I was like, all right, a little more dramatic, whatever. So, like, I don't really, didn't really change. But so no, we're all kept up right now. We got some new cast members in there. More specifically, Wes and Jesse and Lexi. Lexi's fine. She's chill, whatever. Jesse, I don't know yet. I don't know if I like Jesse yet, if I'm being completely honest. I don't dislike him. Like, for entertainment purposes, he's fantastic. Like, goofy-ass character. But as a person, I don't know. And one thing I'll say is, like, I don't know where this Wes Wilson slander is coming from. Like, truthfully, I've watched the show. We'll see him on social media, and I'm like, damn, I want to be friends with West. He seems like such a vibe. Like, literally, he seems like a vibe. Now, what happened behind closed doors with him and Sierra, I don't know. But from what I see in person, I'm like, damn, dude's a vibe. Heavy vibe. So, shout out Wes Wilson. And he works at Complex. Complex fucking rocks. And so, yeah, I really like West. I like the new cast. And that's kind of, like, been my biggest binge at the moment. You know? Like, as for TV wise, because that, oh my god, that and White Lotus, like, my friends got to be sick of me. Every other day I'm coming to the group chat or my friends with a new White Lotus theory, sort of like everyone in the world is, and on TikTok, and that's obviously where I'm finding all the theories. But here's what happened to Victoria Ratliff and I forget his first name, but Mr. Ratliff. And then this is what happens with Rick, but Sri Tala is really his dad. But the White Lotus gets stormed by police and no one knows who they're for. The monkeys are like, I am insufferable. I'll be the first to say it. If you're my friend, I get it. If you want to mute my White Lotus texts, fair. Very fair. I'm like that with all TV shows. When I really get hooked and there's some shit afoot, best believe I'm going to be in the group chat texting about that. And I was. So, no, White Lotus, I mean, talk about a show that has literally gotten better every season. I still think this is by far, I do think this is the best season because I love the cast, love the vibe. It got a little slow, but then picked back up. Season 2 was fucking phenomenal, so, like, I have nothing bad to say about it, but I just think storylines, script, etc., it has gotten better season by season. Shout out Mike White, Survivor. But no, I'm a big fan of newest season of White Lotus. New episode this Sunday. I don't know, man. I don't know. I've seen literally 100 theories as to why each character will die. And all of them, I'm like the most impressionable person when it comes to that. Like, I'll see a theory on why this person should die. Yup. Facts. Or why that person should die. Yep. Nope. They came with even more facts. And these are all different TikTok accounts. They have just as much clue as anybody else, but more clue than me. So White Lotus, that's another one that's taken over my life, but it's bullshit because it's done this Sunday. I will say, when it comes to streaming and, like, everybody's kind of upset that streaming has A, taken over cable, but B, made it so you can't binge watch TV shows anymore, I really actually don't mind. I was pissed off about it when it started. Trust me. This guy was mad. Upset. But as time went on, and, like, I actually had things to look forward to on days, like Thursdays I got Kardashians and Summer House. Sunday I got White Lotus. Also Thursday, I got Paul American, which I'll talk about. I'm trying to think. That is it for the month. So I have things to look forward to today's because I don't know who needs to break it to people, but once you hit 25, 26 years old and you're out here grinding, your days are filled up. You got to find shit to look forward to. You know what? Who said that shit was easy? Not me. It's a little tough to find shit to look forward to. And when TV shows only come out one day a week, that's giving me like, oh, I can't do anything Sunday at 7. Oh, Thursday at 6. Sorry, got plans. AKA plans with me, Emma, and the TV to watch these shows. So I will say streaming, changing from just binge watching and like putting the whole season out there to just one episode a week, I'm actually not upset about it. I'll say that firsthand. I was wrong. But no, so White Lotus is definitely one that I've been obsessed with recently, and I'm excited for the finale. And I guess going on to reality shows again, newest binge. Well, I can't call it a binge because there's only 2 episodes out and it comes out weekly. Paul American. I do think if they can keep up and really get a gist of like what reality TV is, Jake and Logan and their fiancés and their parents will have a very, very, very successful reality show. Because not saying people don't, but I don't know if people actually realize how interesting of a life those two live. Like, you're talking about a boxing, and yes, I'm about to say it, a boxing superstar and a WWE superstar who used to be the biggest YouTubers on earth. One of them is like the main people in $1 billion drink company. Like, it's, people are kind of thinking like, oh, I can't believe they got a reality show, or like, oh, there's this, or like, it's, trust me, like, it's same, like, you saw the first 4 to 5 seasons of Kardashians. Yes, it was back in early 2000s, but it's not like they had what they had now. That's 20 years later. And I do think if they can keep it up, no pun intended, they will have a very successful reality show. Definitely, like, not curious, but like how Max got into it, because I guess, again, like with reality shows, I always saw them as like E. That's what the reality show channel was E. But obviously things have gotten different now. I think Peacock is the reality show streaming big time, in my opinion. Like, there's really no reality on Netflix. No, I mean, there's some on Hulu. I guess Kardashians are on Hulu, but Peacock, that's where Bravo World is. That's where Traders is. That's where some others have been. But no, I'm excited to see Paul American. I think it's going to be sick. I think clearly it already has, like with Jake and Logan, and like the inner workings of their relationship, which, trust me, we all saw the diss tracks. At least if you're our age, we saw the diss tracks. We were there. But it'll be cool to see the interior of their life and really like what goes on behind the scenes. And I'm sure it's going to get crazy. I really do. Like, I genuinely think it's going to get crazy. So those are like what I've been obsessed with lately when it comes to TV. You know, other than that, we got sports on. We got the Final Four going into sports mode right now. Got the Final Four right now. We got Houston, Florida, Auburn, Alabama, Houston, Florida, Auburn, Duke. Yeah, as a college basketball fan, I don't think anybody touches Duke right now. Florida's amazing. Auburn's the only school that's actually played all the teams in the Final Four right now. But Duke is just a step up from everybody right now. I mean, this is the best Final Four that probably in my lifetime in terms of talent. Like, as obviously people have said over the last couple weeks, like, anyone in this Final Four in any other year of March Madness would have just won outright, but the talent was so good this year that this is definitely going to be the best Final Four. But Duke is still a step up, and when you have Cooper Flagg, who's 19 years old. 19 years old. Crazy. But Duke's going to win the national championship, in my opinion, and they're not hateable. Duke is not a hateable team this year. They have always been a hateable team. Kind of like the Patriots, or kind of like Kansas City Chiefs right now, or the Yankees. Just like a very winning program in their sport/league. They're prestigious. They can be a little cocky. Not really hate for no reason, but there is some reason there. But they're not hateable this year. They're not. So that's why I kind of find myself rooting for Duke. And I like Cooper Flag because he's a fucking dog. So I would be happy to see Duke win and just go win a national championship, bro. Like, get it. Go get your shit. Get to the league. You know, we got some youngins in the league that be paired up with nice. Fucking Bronny James, who, I mean, 17 points. For a 55th overall pick in the NBA, I don't think Bronny James is as bad as everybody is making him out to seem. Whereas his first couple weeks in the NBA, fucking ASAP Rocky. Yes, they were. But I think he's actually adjusting well, doing a lot of time in the G League. Obviously, his father has a whole genre of music around him now. Shout out my king, my glorious king, LeBron James. I will say, when people make those memes, my glorious king, I don't think they know that they're affecting the actual. Like, I know this is going to sound corny. As I was growing up, LeBron James was literally a superhero to me. Like, actually. Like, from the ages of, 5, when you actually start watching a sport, maybe 6, 7, to when I got older, that dude was a superhero to me. Have every jersey on any team he's ever been on. Got to see him play in person twice. And he's just my glorious king. And now there's a genre of music where I can, actually bump him. Hold up. Let me show you. I'm looking at LeBron, the man on the Lakers. Not this one. I need to find the best one. You run the car, and that's for sure. You're turning heads when you slam the backboard. Tony Luka. There's this account called I Love You August that is just making the best. I gotta find my favorite one of. It's a remix of I chimed in with a haven't you people ever heard of? No, I got you. James, he's the best in the world on and off of the court. And I can't help but to glaze when I hear his name. What a beautiful finals, what a beautiful finals when the Lakers win the playoffs. In the NBA, he's the one they call the Bron. Everybody's heard of Michael Jordan. Let me know when Michael Jordan has his own genre of music. He doesn't. And LeBron James does. LeBron James is the name that everybody has heard of. Better than Michael Jordan. No, he's the king. And he's still going off right now. Can you believe he's 40 years old? And currently at the moment, he's 6th in MVP voting. And people still want to make the debate on if he's the GOAT or not. And there's actually a good chance the Lakers can win the finals this year. Don't let me jinx myself. But he's the GOAT. And I will say, despite the NBA having a downward ratings decline, I think we're in good hands with people coming up, the stars of don't get me wrong, you have Steph, Durant, LeBron, etc. leaving, but to keep carrying it, and I'm not saying all these people are super young. You got Book, you got Jokic, you got Edwards, you got Tatum, you got even other people you even got Austin Reeves, you got I won't even say Jimmy Butler, but you got Shai, you got Luke. I can't believe I didn't say Luka. You got Luka, you got Wembanyama, you got obviously Bronny, who will be in the league. Cooper Flag's going to be a big star. You got NBA's in good. I just think if they could minimize an 82-game season, truthfully, I was just talking to Em about it, where she's finally getting into football more. Thank God. And we were just having that talk of why football is held way higher than every other sport. And obviously it goes into all the fact of what the sport actually is, the players in it, how you ride for your fan base, all this. There's many different factors. But in my opinion too, it's more special because you have 8, if your team does fantastic, you're playing 18 games. That's it. If you get to the Super Bowl, you are playing 18 games in a season. And so you have to cherish that. You go hard as fuck for 18 weeks in the fall and winter. And in basketball, where you have 82, in baseball, you have like 140 plus. I don't even know what baseball, like it makes certain games less special to watch. So of course there's going to be a ratings decline. Now, I'm not saying like basketball should go play, because part of the 18 game season is because how fucking physical football is. Of course, like if football played 82 games in a season, their brains are literally going to feel like mashed potatoes. Like it's not, and so are their limbs. Like it for a health and wellness concern, obviously they can't do that, but it just makes it more special that way. So I'm glad that she's finally getting into football. And back to my original point, I'm glad that I get to watch more of my glorious king, LeBron James. I love you. LeBron's a fucking GOAT. And I guess back to football, that it was funny. It was like 2-3 days ago that the Cleveland Browns finally came to the decision that giving a sex pest $230 million was, what did they say specifically? I wrote it down. It was a big, quote unquote, a big swing and miss. Giving Deshaun Watson $231 million for them to continue and suck was a big swing and miss, which I guess I understand. Not even I guess. Why am I saying I guess? I 100% understand that it was a big swing and miss, because he fucking sucks. So does their organization. And they wasted $230 million for it. I will say, he got the bag gloriously and sucked and didn't really play a lot. So I guess in that regard, shout out to Deshaun Watson, who, crazy thing to say, but just as it pertains to going and getting a bag and sucking at your job, go off, I guess. Also, another thing on the entertainment side, that there has been so much talk about Justin Bieber, Hailey Bieber, Selena Gomez, etc. That little trio. And there was this whole, it went crazy viral for a while. There was this whole, 7-part series on YouTube of how Hailey Bieber was obsessed with Justin Bieber. And I guess as a lowdown, like, people, and again, not like I've lived here forever, but at least like been in that world behind the scenes enough to understand how it goes, where like I don't think people understand really, like, when you're born a celebrity, maybe not a celebrity, when you're born to celebrity family, how that life goes, where everyone's like, oh, like, she was in the same place as Justin here, she was on the carpet there, blah blah blah. No shit. Like, the first time they ever met when they were young as fuck, because her father, who's an actor, went to Justin Bieber's show to have them meet. And she looked like she didn't want to be there at all. She could give a fuck. And then as time went on, like, the 7-part series was like, look at her here. She's at this event. She's at that event. No shit. Her father, who is a TV star, was invited to these events. Obviously, he's going to bring his daughter, because, like, why not? She gets to see Justin Bieber. Point blank period. And on top of that, everyone being like, oh, Hailey Bieber was obsessed with Justin Bieber and now they're married. Rah! Name me one female on planet fucking Earth that would be anywhere in the realm of 25 to 30 years old currently, that as they grew up were not obsessed with Justin fucking Bieber. You can't. You literally can't. Any female I have literally ever known in my entire life that's around my age or possibly a little older absolutely had Bieber fever. 100%. From the second he got famous to now, Bieber, like, that's such a poor angle to play at it. Like, Hailey was obsessed with him and now she's married. He couldn't find, and I know this is going to sound sad, Justin couldn't find a woman on the planet, truthfully, that at one point wasn't obsessed with Justin Bieber before. He'd have to not marry in his lifetime if that's how he wanted to go about it. It's just not that. Those are just the facts. Even other celebrities have been obsessed with Justin Bieber since he became famous, actually. So like that, I feel like that angle is so played out. Like, of course she was obsessed with him. She was a girl that was around the same age as him. Obviously, I love Justin Bieber when it was that time. At first, I was like, damn, who the fuck is this kid? This shit sucks. Why are all the girls like in class loving on this kid? And then as time went on, I was like, damn, yeah, he fucking rocks. So I just think that's such a poor angle to take on, like, her being creepy and this and that. Don't get me wrong. Have I seen the videos of like him acting like he's annoyed or this or that? No shit. Like, again, if you are in a serious relationship, it is not all fucking flowers and dandelion. Like, yeah, there might be times where, are you way more scrutinized on it when you're famous? Also, how much time? Fuck yeah. Are you way more scrutinized on it when you're famous? Of course. And is there going to be a microscope as to like why you did that or like of course. But I don't think it's out of the realm of normalness of like him, like what their relationship is. So I don't know. I think people are a little crazy with that one, in my opinion. I don't really think she's that fucking weird for quote unquote being obsessed, but maybe that's just me. I guess going back to also socials is that my For You page is just constantly people sitting in their cars eating intricate, messy, big meals in the driver's seat. I know they have like a little tray below, but I need to know when this trend started, why you're doing it. Why? Like, I get it's creative, it's fun. Your studio is your car, and like that's awesome. But like, when did it start? Who started it? Is it official? Like, is it like a cult now? Is it a thing? Like, people are eating full lobster and seafood boils in their car. They're eating full pasta. That like, there's people reviewing 9 different Cheesecake Factory dishes, eating them by hand in the driver's side of their car. There's people who literally will bring one of those things that has a mini stove and a deep fryer in it, and they will cook a full meal in the driver's seat of their car. Couldn't be me. Could not. I don't obviously have like clinical OCD, but that could never be me. Never, ever, ever in a million years. The fact that you are like, if there's a small piece of food that falls in my car, I might need to pull over and throw it out. I will get flustered. I'll be like, what is this doing here? You are a unidentified object. You need to go. I can't have you in this. And the only one I will say that I'm okay with is Crumbl Cookie. I'm okay with every Crumbl Cookie review. I watch them frequently. I'm obsessed with ASMR eating. Let's just get that out there. Red flag, I know. But I'm obsessed with it. I love watching ASMR eats because when I'm really hungry and I know I don't want to eat bad, I'm like, I'm going to watch this. This is going to cure it. And it does make me feel good for a second. I'm like, oh, look at it. Like, I'm not eating that. And then a couple seconds later, when someone's like dipping a Big Mac in Raising Cane sauce and then having like Chick-fil-A fries on the side with a Chipotle burrito to top it off, I'm just like, damn. If only. If I wasn't fat at one point, I would do that. Like, truthfully, if I wasn't fat for like a good period of my life, I would absolutely probably be an ASMR eater right now. Like, actually, I would do it. If I was someone who struggled to gain weight or just was naturally skinny, I would be an ASMR eater. Seems like the most fun job ever. Like, hey, you're just going to eat a ton of shitty ass food that tastes amazing. Don't get me wrong. Tastes amazing. And that's going to be your job, and you're going to make a lot of money, because I've never seen an ASMR eating video that performed bad ever in my life. It just doesn't happen. But going back to Crumbl, those are the only car eating videos that I'm okay with is Crumbl or How Kev Eats, because shout out How Kev Eats. I fucking love that dude. And he actually just made an app that I want to look at because I constantly want to find new restaurants, and How Kev Eats rocks. But no, Crumbl's the only one I'm okay with in the car. Obsessed with Crumbl reviews. And let me say, I don't understand the Crumbl hater community out there. I don't understand it. Doesn't make sense to me. Never will make sense to me, because each Crumbl cookie has 1,300 calories per cookie, literally made in like a fucking science lab of cookies. And you can't tell me, like, they're like, I don't know, like, genetically isn't the right word, but they're engineered specifically to taste good. That's like quite literally like where the 1,300 calories come from. Like, if you make a regular cookie at home, maybe 300 to 500 calories a cookie. There's a reason. You think those extra 1,000 calories came from like, come on now. You can't. I get it if you're someone who has like sweetness overload, or you're just, trust me, I enjoy being a hater too. I do. I find joy in being a hater. But you can't tell me that crumble cookies is bad. You just can't, because they're not. Like, they're actually created to taste amazing. You might, right? I remember Crumble released like a lemon cookie. I'm not a lemon fan, so of course, yeah, I might not like that cookie. If you don't like cookies in general, sure, but you're dumb for that if you don't like cookies, unless you're allergic to cookies, then, respect, I apologize. So that's my take on Crumble and what my For You page has been. That and what's it called? There's this one like TikTok sound that's like very eerie and ominous, but it's like buildings or places with the most aura. And my For You page is now constantly what places in the world have the most aura with this music behind it. And it constantly is showing cathedrals. So I'm also on cathedral TikTok. Didn't know if you knew that. So if you want to quiz me on anything cathedral, if anyone watches this or comes to me in my personal life and has questions for cathedrals, I got you. I got you on cathedral talk. Trust me, because I've been there. And I was pretty good in geography. I was good in geography class, if I'm being honest. Don't mean to... There's someone riding a little dune buggy outside. Yeah, don't mean to toot my own horn, but geography was the shit. So, and yeah, that's me. But also, I made this comparison on, funny enough, TikTok the other day, but I kind of see it clear as day. I really think, unless it truthfully is a whole bit and it's just him, I think Paul Skeens is, in a way, the less negative Chappell Roan version of baseball. I do. Where every interview, he's kind of almost the male definition of like, give us nothing. And I don't mean give us nothing, because he's going to give you 100-mile-an-hour heaters, 84-mile-an-hour changeups, fastball, sinkers, everything. And easily probably in his second year, probably one of the best pitchers in baseball. So he's not going to give you nothing on the field. He's going to give you everything, and you're lucky to have him. Off the field, he is absolutely going to give you nothing. Absolutely. Every interview I've ever seen or video, he consistently gives nothing. From draft day, nothing. When he won Rookie of the Year, nothing. His GQ interview with his girlfriend, or every time he's in a video with his girlfriend, shout out Livy Dunn, nothing. He seems very unexcited. Now, that's my king. Nonchalant, go off. But he seems like a very unexcited person, truthfully. And I don't know, that might just be his thing. He might be unexcited. And that's why I say the Chappell Roan, because Chappell Roan is just fucking negative. She's just negative. And to segue to that, she gave another interview that was talking about like how hard it is to be a celebrity and like blah, blah, blah. Again, just like spewing shit again. And don't get me wrong. Again, I've seen it firsthand. Maybe not with like a pop star like Chappell, but from friends in the industry, etc., that also work on that line. Being a celebrity to that extent is a very hectic lifestyle. I'm not saying it isn't. There's a lot that goes into it. First off, a lot of people probably aren't going to like this. It's a choice. Like, for you to compare that to someone that has to work long hours to make ends meet and provide for their families and do all this type of stuff, they have to do that. Don't get me wrong. You could choose different jobs. A lot of times you can't. You have to do that. Once you get to a level of Chappell Roan or anyone in that pop scene, doesn't pop, rap, country, whatever, movie star, etc., after, like, truthfully, if we want to get real with each other, after your first album, to that extent, you could probably be good. I'm not saying good for life, like you made $100 million off of it, but you'd probably be good, and you do not have to be a celebrity anymore. You are continuing to choose to do that, and you want that lifestyle. Like, I never understood, like, unless you're becoming an anonymous author that's able to sell millions of books anonymously, I never understood people who willingly will either go try out for a film and do theater and do a movie or a TV show and come out and being like, oh, fuck, hate being famous. What did you think was going to come? You thought you were going to wear a mask for your role and that the credit was going to say Batman played by Anonymous. Not saying Robert Pattinson or Christian Bale said this, because they're kings, and shout out to them. But, like, did you think it was just going to be all anonymous and, like, mysterious as to what you do when you're a singer. When you're in the studio writing songs, did you just think, gosh, I can't wait to play these for nobody? I'm so excited that I'm the only person that's going to hear this. Like I'm very content that this won't go anywhere. What did you think was going to not even what did you think? You intentionally went into the studio, into the play, into whatever, because clearly you wanted that notoriety that came along with it. And for you to sit here, no, like, I didn't want this. I just wanted millions of people to sing my song. What name did they think was attached to the song? Like Pink Pony Club sung by Anonymous? Again, like it doesn't make sense for me for you to be this hateful of it. Don't get me wrong. I will always stand on that, like, being famous, your privacy is encroached on. There's a lot of people that get too close. It can be scary. Like, you have stalkers, you have this, you have that. Not downplaying any of that. There can be a very big scary side to it. What I'm saying is for you to hate every aspect of it just doesn't make sense to me, because I'm like, you literally asked for this. This is what you worked for. And like, you hate taking pictures. Like, I will always say, even though she's basically literally like too famous at this point to do anything, like she's a commodity on her own. When I think of famous people that truthfully do it right, it's Kim motherfucking Kardashian. That woman is the essence of like really what it is like to be a celebrity. Like, loves every opportunity she gets. I'm not saying she's stopping on the street and taking pictures with every fan. I'm not saying that. But she doesn't ever seem... You got to... Mind you, this woman got tied up and robbed at gunpoint in a foreign country and was still like, nah, I want to do this. This is what comes with this life. Not saying she was okay with it, obviously. It's fucking traumatizing. But she was like, no, that's what comes with this life. Like, we're going to keep on keeping on. And I'm not saying that you have to have that done to you either, because it's fucking terrifying. If that happened to me, I'd be like, I'm quitting forever. Literally, like, wiping all my shit from the internet. This is terrifying. But she realized like what it's like to be a celebrity, what your life is like, what you're giving up in terms of privacies, all this type of stuff. So Chappell Roan, like, I just don't get it. Like, she's truthfully the most negative famous person I actually think. Don't get me wrong, there's dickhead famous people. That's different. Sometimes it's entertaining. She's the most negative famous person I think I've ever came across, truthfully, like, ever. Like, it's just, she's not a good time. Like, don't get me wrong, a couple of her songs, bops. Pink Pony Club, bop. But it just, she's mean. Like, she's not a fun celebrity to follow. And that's obviously what she wants. So, I don't know. She just continuously gives nothing too. And then I'm trying to think, oh my God. So, in news that literally I think everyone in the world probably could have predicted, yeah, we're still recording. Let's go. I just want to make sure too, because sometimes the camera will bop out. But knowing we can go 40 minutes is pretty tight. In news that everyone in the world obviously knew and like was waiting for it to come, Sydney Sweeney and her fiance have called it quits. They were engaged for years. And then she popped up with Glenn Powell at Glenn Powell's sister's wedding. Now, Brian Windhorst fingers. I know that Glenn Powell's mom came out and Glenn came out being like, no, Sydney's a very good friend of my sister's. They came to the wedding. Powell's do it right. I'm sure all of that's true. But how do you randomly just become good friends with your co-star's sister? You know? Like, not saying it can't happen. It absolutely can happen. But they're playing, like, and again, I love Glenn Powell. I think Glenn Powell rocks. He seems like actually an awesome person to hang with and just seems like a good guy. So I'm here for it. If they announce in months' time or whatever that they are in a relationship, hope they do. But we could have seen that coming. We absolutely, I mean, Anyone But You, fantastic movie. Great rom-com. Crazy promo, because I always said it where when I look at Sydney Sweeney's promo, I'm like, Hollywood people have to have something against their fiance. They must hate him. Because don't get me wrong, I know it's part of the world, but like theirs was so done up where I'm like, oh yeah, they must fucking hate this guy. Because like every promo is an extremely over flirtatious, like, watch Sydney fall in love with her co-star before the movie. And that's gotta be tough. You gotta be strong for that, for sure. And I'm sure he was strong, but you know, I'm sure Sydney and her fiance probably started dating and whatnot before she really blew up. And then she became Sydney Sweeney, and almost tying back to the Paige DeSorbo talk, if you're one side of the relationship or you're just whatever and you blow the fuck up, like, you got to go, like, that's what you worked for. Like, you have to go do what you worked so hard for. And, like, I'm not saying that is what happened with Sydney Sweeney and her fiance, but it's a possibility. Like, she's Sydney, like, it's not like she's some actress. She's Sydney Sweeney now. So, like, you know, her taking priority in her work, it makes sense. And if that priority is her wifing up Glenn Powell, that is something I am entirely here for. So I'm here for it. Shout out Sydney Sweeney. Shout out Glenn Powell. I would say I'm hyped for the new season of Euphoria, but not really, because season 1 was great, but didn't really get into it. Will say, sort of like Caleb Heron says, anything with Jacob Elordi comes across my desk, I'm watching it. But no, maybe I'll tune in. I don't know. I need to watch season 2 again to, like, actually get a grasp of what's been going on. But no, those are really, I know, shorter episode. We're at 45 minutes, and I know this is a new start. I know this is different, and I'm getting back into the swing of things because I haven't done this in, like, the last 8 months. But regardless, as I always leave every episode, whether there's one person watching, 10 people, 100 people, one day we're going to work to hopefully 100,000 people, maybe more. Who knows? I just definitely appreciate it because I have so much fun. Like, it's literally what I want this to be. And, like, when I have guests come on, or, you know, in the future I'm able to have a co-host, all this type of shit, like, I just love sitting and talking. It's quite literally my favorite thing to do. And as you can probably tell, I can talk to a wall because I'm talking to a camera right now. So, you know, episode 1 of many. We're bringing it back. Weekly episodes. I'm hype. I appreciate, obviously, anyone who wants to listen. And until then, we're checking out. Yeah.